Are you living purposely to reach your goals? So we've been talking about goals the last couple of weeks. So I guess this month my mind is more on goals than in any other time. I don't know why. Maybe it's the springtime. It's just a good time to think about goals and moving forward. So I'm going to talk today about 5 questions that you can ask yourself every day to make sure that you are moving towards your goals and living purposely to reach them. You have a story to tell, but you don't know where to start. Let me show you how to free your story. I teach you how to write and how to dig deep in your soul to release your story and make a difference in the world. Welcome to the Julia Monte channel. If we're just meeting, I am Julia Monte, and I'm really happy to see you here today. It's been really nice outside, and I'm really happy that spring is here and that we can move forward and talk about goals and hopefully look at, revisit them and see how you're doing with your writing goals. I know for me, I've had, if you watched my previous videos, I've had quite a few, monkey wrenches thrown at me, and I had to, fix my house. I've had reconstruction going on and all kinds of stuff that have set me behind on my writing, to be honest. I was hoping to be at a certain point, and I'm a little behind, but I'm going to catch up, and my goals are still to finish that novel by this year. So that's where I'm headed. So today I thought what we would talk about is some of my routines and what I do, and they might help you as well. So I'm going to talk about 5 questions that I ask myself to make sure that I'm moving forward, to make sure that I'm reaching those goals, to make sure that I'm staying on track. Okay, so what I tend to do is first thing in the morning when I get up and I'm ready to start my day, as I sit with my planner and I take a look at my planner and I look at what I have to do, and then I do it's a journaling of sorts, where I'm asking myself some questions that are helping me to really get focused. Okay, the first question that I ask myself is, what can I pay attention to today as I go through my day that will help me to become a better writer? So it's a really simple question. I might look and see that I have a super busy day, that I'm going to teach on campus, that I'm going to be doing all kinds of things, and I may not be able to write, or I may not have time or the energy to write a lot that day. But what can I still do? What can I pay attention to that's going to help me to improve my writing? And it could be a number of things, right? It could just be noticing, like, my students zipping by on their scooters. It could be the wind really blowing, because we have very windy weather at the campus where I teach. And it could be that, right? Just kind of noticing it. It was something that I noticed the other day when I went to campus, and it was really blowing a lot. And the trees were just, bending over, and people were blocking their hair and, trying to huddle down and walk as fast as they can to class. And, these are images that I can store away in my mind, so that when I need them in the future, they will help me. I remember I used to listen to and watch the Oprah, program or show, whatever it was. And she had, gosh, I don't even know how many years now, maybe like 10 years or more, Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, or I don't remember which one it was. Anyways, he has 2 or 3 of them. I have a couple of them, and it was all about being present, and it was all about noticing things that are happening, not being in the future and thinking about what's going to happen 10 minutes from now, and not thinking about a conversation you had with someone else yesterday, but really paying attention and being present right now, today, right? It was really good, for me to read his book, to watch her program and her interviews with him, because it really made me step back and think, okay, how can, at that time, how can this help me to become a better writer? If I'm present, if I'm paying attention, how is this going to help me? And I realized that it's going to help me a lot, because the more I pay attention, the more I am, right now, paying attention to what's happening, the more I am storing away, the more that I have to write in the future, the more thoughts I have about it, right? The more maybe I have an interesting idea because of something that I'm currently experiencing. Maybe I notice an emotion that another person is having, and I can try to put myself in their shoes and see, like, what are they feeling? Why are they feeling this way? So it really is helpful. It's also, it's helpful for you as a person just to be present and to be connected with people you're talking to rather than thinking of something else. But it's also good for you as a writer. Also, the things that you notice don't always have to be positive. Okay. So, I mean, I tend to think of that, right, of positive stuff, but when we write all kinds of things, we don't only write positive emotions, positive things. So sometimes you might notice something that is not so positive. That's okay too. Just recently, I decided to go to this fireplace store. I was looking for a certain table that I hadn't been there in like over 20 years. And I bought a metal table, the patio table that I really liked. And I wanted to buy one for my rental that was underwater a few weeks ago and had the problems. But I wanted to buy a similar table for their patio out there. And especially with, spring and summer coming and everything, I wanted to make it nice. So anyways, I go to this fireplace store, and it's in a pretty bad part of town now. 25 years ago it was a lot nicer, but now it's really not a very safe part of town. It's pretty bad. And so when I drove up, I noticed there were a few homeless people standing around, and that the fireplace store doesn't even have a front door anymore, and it's still there, it still exists, but now what they've done is they've closed that up, and they have a door on the side, so you have to go into the parking lot, park on the side. Now I don't know if they did this on purpose to try to keep people safer and discourage people that are hanging around from bothering customers. I don't know what the thing is, but I'd asked myself that question, right? What can I notice today that will help my writing? Is I paid more attention to, rather than just like walking right in there, I paid attention to the neighborhood and to what was going on, and the homeless individuals that were there. And that seemed to me, one of the things that I thought at the time is like it seemed like various shades of gray that they're wearing. It just seems so bleak, and it's so sad, right? And again, it's not a positive image. It's not something that again, it's sad, but it's something that I noticed rather than just walk past it, right, and ignore. So, again, the things you notice may not be positive, but it can still help you with your writing in the future. All right, the next question that I ask myself is, how can I be the best writer today? So that's a good question because, of course, I always want to be the best writer that I can be. But I may or may not be able to write, right? So I may not have that undivided writing time. It's easy when I have those days when it's like, okay, I'm going to be able to sit and write today. I'm going to write for 4 hours or whatever. But I may not. So when I'm looking at my schedule, I say, okay, how can I still be the best writer today? So it may be that I'm just going to write a blog. It may be that I'm going to write a scene. It may be that I'm not going to be able to write at all, but I'm going to read an article about writing. I'm going to watch a video. I'm going to make a video about writing. Okay, I'm going to do something to be the best writer, to be helpful to other writers, and to stay within, what I love, and to stay thinking about writing. So when I go over my schedule and I look at my day and I realize, how much time I'm going to have, with the time that I have, I ask myself, how can I be the best writer today? And again, that by just asking that question, I come up with an answer of something that I can do to continue to be a good writer. Okay, my next question is probably an extension of the previous question. I asked myself, what can I learn about writing today? So I'm a teacher, I'm a learner, I'm a writer, right? So I'm always thinking of learning something new because it can help me in my writing. It can help me as a person just to know more, right? And so I asked myself, what can I learn today about writing? And again, if I'm reading an article or something, I can maybe learn something new, or maybe I can just refresh my memory on something that I already know. But an example of this was the other day when I was going through my calendar in the morning, and I thought, okay, well, let's see, I got to teach, I'm going to walk my dogs, I'm going to water my plants, I'm going to, all of the different things that I had that I needed to get done that day. And I thought, okay, what can I learn about writing today? Or what can I learn today? Not about writing, just what can I learn? And so my eyes just kind of focused on watering the plants. And I thought, okay, so let's see here. What can I learn about watering the plants? Okay, nothing really about the watering the plants, but I thought about my orange trees, and my orange trees are, the old orange. I still have a few oranges left, but most of the oranges are gone, but the new blossoms are up. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to learn today about fertilizing those trees. And I wondered, did I miss the fertilizing period now that I'm getting new blooms? Should I have already done it? Should I do it now? I'm gonna find out that information, and I'm gonna learn about fertilizing those trees. And that way, if I miss the period now, at least I'll know for next season, right? So, what can I learn today is going to help me, because at some point, it may be useless information that I'm just going to use for my house, or it may be something that I actually can use in a book someday. You just never know. But if you're always trying to learn something new, a little something new, it can help you to have that of information, storehouse of information in your mind that you can reach for later when you want to write. Okay, the next question that I ask myself is, how can I serve my readers better today? Now, this is a tough question, because as writers, the readers are our customers, right? So if you think of this as a business and my readers are my customers, it's really easy if, I own a bike shop, or I have a different kind of business where I have a product in a store, and I see my customers and I meet them and I talk to them, right? So it's a lot easier then, because I know what they want. I know if somebody comes in for certain kinds of bikes, what kind of bikes they like, or an ice cream store, right? What ice creams they like. But I don't usually meet my readers. I don't know who they are. I'm guessing who they are, and I'm guessing what they want, but I don't really know, which is a little frustrating as somebody who, produces something for somebody else, to not really know who your customers are, right? So I asked myself that, and I can only do what I think I can do for them, but what can I do? And the other problem is, for writers, at least for me, some writers write more books per year, and they're able to stay in front of their readership more. Where for me, my goal is to get one book a year. It's been like every 3 years, for some of my books. So my goal is just to do one a year for a while. And so so that's a long time still, right? It's a long time to write a book, and then readers don't hear from you for a year. So what can I do to serve them? And so this is something, again, that I'm just kind of, thinking of, meditating on, and saying, okay, what can I do? There are various things just to talk to my readers and stay connected with them. Social media is one, right? So keeping that personal connection with the reader, posting pictures of my chihuahua, talking to my readers is one thing. Doing a newsletter, which I'm terrible at, and I'm trying to do one. Trying to do 2 per month, and I'm really struggling with that. But that's a good thing, right? To try to get a newsletter out, to get discounts for your reader, to recommend other authors too that I think my readers might like. So those are a lot of things that I think are helpful. To think about your reader, because as writers, we really do need to do that. We need to think about our reader, because our readers are our customers, and it helps us to when we're writing, to think, okay, well, I'm writing this book for someone, right? I'm writing it because I love the story, but I'm writing it for someone, and I want to make sure that I connect with that someone, with that person, with those people. Okay, so that's another question that you want to ask yourself. Even if you don't have readers yet, and even if you're just starting to write, it's still, think about, who is this person that I'm writing this story for, and what does this person need to know? Depending on what you're writing, if you're writing nonfiction, what am I giving this person? What information am I giving them? What details do they need to know? What do I need to share about my life that will help them with their issue, their problem? Okay, so having that, asking that question, I think is really an important one, and it's a difficult one to answer a lot of times, but it's definitely one that's worthwhile asking. What can I do today, maybe, to connect with my readers? What can I post on social media? What can I send? What can I give them? If I have a discount or I have something that they would like, what can I give them? And part 2 for me is also writers. What can I do for writers? I've been doing this long enough. This is why I've decided to create videos and write blogs, is what can I do for other writers? So sometimes it is just writing a blog or creating a video. But sometimes it may be just supporting some of my friends who are also writers. I don't have a book out this month. Who can I help that does have a book? So that's really at the top of my list right now, is not only how can I serve readers, but how can I serve other writers as well? And hopefully by creating videos and is helping some people. But my goal is to expand that, do a little more of that. I've also started courses that I'm creating. I've created 2 courses so far, and I expect to create 2 more this year to have people that want to learn more, that want to move forward faster with their writing goals, will have that option. So that's always on the back of my mind too, is how can I help readers? How can I help writers? What can I do? All right, and then the last question, so 5 questions. The last question that I ask myself is, who can help me to reach my goals? So I'm doing all these things to help readers and writers, but who can help me to reach my goals? And who can I connect with? So that's important too, not to forget that, that we need help as well. I need help as well. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been writing for a long time, and I've been teaching for forever. But there's always something that, that I need help with, or there's always somebody that knows more than I do. So I think that's an important thing to remember, is that, even if we know a lot, is who can help us. If you're just starting out with writing, I can help you. I've been doing this for a long time. Who can help me? Sometimes I may find the person. Sometimes it may just be picking up a book that somebody that knows something more, like videos. I've watched a lot of videos on what to do to actually create a video from start to finish, just how to speak to a camera, how to take the recording from a camera and actually put it into an editing software. I knew nothing about that, but other people did know that, and so I asked myself, well, who can help me to do this? I've never done this before. Who can help me to create a video? Who can help me to understand YouTube? Who can help me to market some of my books? Maybe I definitely always need help with that, because I'm not a huge salesperson. So that's another question, right? And it's a good question for you to ask as well. Who can help me to move forward? Do I need to watch more videos? Do I need to read more books? Do I need to take some courses? Do I need to write more? Who has the knowledge that I need, that I can connect with, and that can help me move forward? I believe that we don't move forward by ourselves, right? We always need somebody else to help us. The world's just made that way, probably on purpose, right? That we can't do things on our own. We need other people. We need connections with other people to help us move forward, and for us to help other people move forward. I'm pretty sure it's set up that way on purpose. So those are my 5 questions that I ask myself every morning, except when my dog wakes me up and keeps me up all night. Then I just kind of struggle to move through the day. But most of the time, I come in first thing in the morning, and I sit with my planner, and I ask myself these questions, and I actually write down the answers. I don't just think about it, I write it down. because, that solidifies it in my mind. It doesn't take very long to do it. It seems, I think it took me longer to talk about it than it actually takes for me to write it down, because I do it every day. So hopefully this helps you. Maybe you'll develop your own questions, but it's definitely worth doing. And it starts your day off right, because when I get up now, not only have I reviewed everything that I need to do for the day, but my mind is thinking about writing already, right? I haven't done anything. I haven't written one word except for answering the questions, but my mind is already set up for writing. It's already set up for serving my readers and my writers, of thinking about them, of thinking of my story. So it's a great way to start the day. So I highly recommend it and encourage you to do something similar. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, then please hit the like and the share button and come back and see me next Friday. Bye-bye.